Welcome to my projectbazaar.com. Let me discuss about the process Amplify and Forward relay sharing for both primary and cognitive users. Let me discuss about the abstract of the project. The Amplify and Forward Relay Protocol is a protocol defined for wireless cooperative communication. An example of a wireless communication network in which cooperation improves the performance of the system is the relay network. Cooperation happens when a direct communication between a source and a destination is improved due to the help provided by the neighboring probe. This neighboring node is denoted as a relay. When he has no data its own to transmit, or it can be a node that has data of its own to transmit, but it can also help with the communication between source and destination. The processing speed of a sensor increases its power consumption but reduces the processing time, and consequently reduces the power consumed by the network. Finally, reduces the total power consumption. Quality of service is particularly important for the transport of traffic with spectral requirements. In particular, developers have introduced technology to allow computer networks to become as useful as telephone networks for audio conversation, as well as supporting new application with even stricter service demands. Here, relay transmission with PU's cooperation has been investigated by four schemes: parallel transmission and parallel forwarding, parallel transmission and serial forwarding, serial transmission and parallel forwarding, and traditional serial transmission and serial forwarding schemes are proposed for both users, which are allowed to transmit in parallel and serially. Here also achieved to minimize the normalized the total power consumption when both users transmit the signal with efficient QoS and individual transmit power constraint for both the PU and the SCU. Let me discuss about the flow diagram for our process. Initially, the system model has been designed. Here, source S, relay R and destination D has been incorporated. Also deploy the primary transmit PT and primary receiver PR. In PTPF and PTSF schemes, both PT and S are allowed to transmit the signal simultaneously, as well as R forwards the received signals from source and primary transmit to PR and D simultaneously. Then this transmission process is called PTPF schemes. R forwards the received signal from source and primary transmit to PR and D separately. Then this transmission process is called PTSF scheme. Now R helps to allow PT and S to transmit the signal of both users simultaneously. Then the transmission process is called STPF scheme. R helps to allow PT and S to transmit the signal of both users separately. Then transmission process is called STSF scheme. The channel coefficient for relay R, destination D, primary transmit PT, the primary receiver PR has been initialized. Next, the SINR estimation has been proposed. In PTPF and PTSF schemes are performed in the first time slot. The received signal at R can be expressed. Then normalize the received signal. In the second time slot for PTPF scheme, the received signal at PR and D can be defined. Considering second and third time slot for the PTSF scheme, PR will be split into two parts. The received signal at PR and S can be expressed. Finally, the SINR of both PT and S users for both PTPF and PTSF schemes are derived. For both STPF and STSF scheme, considering first and second time slots, the received signal at R. Then normalize the power of the received signal and also consider PT scheme will be split into two parts. In third time slot, the received signal at PR and D for PTSF schemes can be expressed. The same above process is repeated for STSF scheme. Third and fourth time slots of STSF schemes, the received signal at PR and D are given. Finally, the SINR of both PR and D users for both STFs and STSF schemes are proposed. Then the normalized total power consumption. Scope of this section is reduce the normalized total power consumption of both users by adjusting CU's transmit power. Then the RS probability that characterize the RS opportunity for both the PU and the CU is defined as the probability. Finally, the performance has been analyzed. Here, relay sharing probability, normalized total power consumption plot has been analyzed. Let me discuss about the running procedure for our process. Select the main.m file in the current folder, write the file and run for executing this process. Here we perform the amplify and forward relay sharing scheme. Here there are four schemes are proposed. One is the PTPF scheme, then PTSF scheme, another one STPF scheme, and finally the STSF schemes are proposed. Here we obtain the graph for relay sharing probability by varying the lambda value for our PTPF, PTSF, STPF, STSF scheme, and also simulation results. Here we obtain the relay sharing probability of the CU by varying the initial power and maximum power. Here also we obtain the graph for four schemes. Here this is the normalized total power consumption graph of the cognitive users for our proposed schemes by varying the lambda value. Here we compare the four schemes of the normalized total power consumption, and this is the normalized total power consumption graph by varying the Pmax divided by P0 values of our cognitive users. Here also four schemes are compared. Finally, we analyze the graph, that is STSF schemes are best compared with the other three schemes. Thank you.